Oh, it's still going on. I went to leave Maslin. Now, I usually brag all over Maslin. Like the young African American officer. Tell Bruce I'll take care of Karen while she's in town. Drug and gang unit used to protect me. Like the nice officer in uniform Maslin, November 24, 21, 8:40 a.m. I'm in emergency room. I'm here to watch her. There's a Steve and Eric Strong here. We don't know who they are yet. And it's finally got funny after everything they did. Nothing's amiss. No, it's not. There must be a new cop in town. I went to go over 21. There's an African American Maslin officer. He acted like he had a third grade education. I will be turning this in to the chief, and I will not tolerate any police department ever disrespecting me. And somebody new, probably to the force, that does not know the case needs to learn to keep their mouth shut when a victim drives by. He actually, Will taped her before. What are you talking about? Will told me to admit to no wrongdoing, take care of it. Yeah, they cut a deal with Will for Michelle, August 10th or 11th, 22 at Walmart, that they called Will and explained Michelle. By the hair salon, start following me around, taping audio. They called Will and explained Michelle, and he set it up. Nobody would ever help her. Then I got to thinking how cruel he was. I had Dave when I called Will, even in a drug case, telling him where they were breaking and stabbing me with needles and lying they had sodium pentothal reports and they were date rape drugs. You can be up there. I tried to tell him about Huntington Bank, about that guy who threatened to knife me. Okay? And see, I just had bruises and I got sick on drinks and I didn't know what was happening to me. And that's not funny when the local officers and police departments make mockery of victims of human trafficking. Well, I called him. I tried to tell him that David called me and wanted to know where I was at and then hung up and wouldn't answer. I said, I got a flu shot. Some guy showed up, I can't believe she's here, and then threatened to knife me at Giant Eagle. And then a Pizza Hut lady said she got paid to watch me, and the baby was screaming. He called me a liar. And you're a liar, and if you don't take it back, I'll arrest you. He can't do that. That's obstruction to justice, tampering with evidence, tampering with a victim of a violent crime. That's a lot of years in jail. Do you know if he has a girlfriend? Well, at that point, I didn't know. And some guy rambles about it. He said, she doesn't know, stop. So he knew everything. Okay? And then I'll list you informant, but if you tell someone, I'll list you crazy. Okay? You can't do that. You can't leave a victim not being able to ask for help. That is a setup. They did cut a deal. My one friend used to work for the prosecutor's office, calls them backdoor deals. They either give them something they want, they cut a deal on something, or they give them money to let a victim be victimized or killed. It's highly illegal, and it's exactly with his own admission, for we're on a recorded line, committed life in federal prison. Now, today I went to leave work. This Maslin officer sitting on the edge of 21. Will taped her before. Is that what you're talking about? Do you know they try to even use the excuse? No. The night before I called Will back, I told you I had called Sarah, asked her to witness. We took a card out to Zales, and her manager put it in the locker. We go up to Apostolic Church of Barberton, Bob Hamer got in Dave's face. My God, I had an FBI agent in my office. He's right there. I walk off, Dave comes in, let's go, and threatens my life until I'm ready to jump out. And I run from him when I get home. The next day I have to call Will back, and my head spinning. And I'm trying to remember. And he's so fucking mean to me. It's ridiculous. And you're not allowed to be mean to victims. He knew what they did. I told you I didn't call him back for 4 days. Yeah, right, they didn't come looking for me. I had 3 witnesses on the hotline. They were threatening to kill me, and 2 documented Perry police reports. Dave's the main subject, and the other one's linked back to the church. And then that church is telling at least 3 witnesses they're going to kill me. Yeah, right, they didn't come looking for me. Okay? But that, yeah, and for that ignorant thing to say to me when I drive by, they try, okay. So, my head's spinning where he's being so mean. I left more crap out, but I had like 70-80% of the shit to the hotline. He already had it. He didn't need a witness. He was interrupting me so I couldn't talk. He was paid off and dirty. Now, the Canton police have been looking into this since, January of 22. Because they showed up on the 19th at Department of Disability. I was drugged and told to say it before. They're like, someone needs to help her. Canton's been all over this. And then for the photoshopping of the shower scene, and more than 10. They already know that agent. They told my client out on Turquoise Street, across the way, the split level, don't say anything to her, but we already know all those tapes before with them and not her. We didn't realize it. This is June 7th of 22. We're looking for who's doing it to her. April 14, 22, Save a Lot, 2 lady investigators. It's sick what's going on. They really did have a man go to that church and pretend he was FBI for. She called that agent back. It was a stunt for Dave to confront her in the truck. They had people pretend to be her kids, bad-mouthing her. Kids didn't know anything about it. It's been the people hurting her the whole time. Now, a few days ago, I went to work out on Turquoise Street. Some teenagers that live in that house were talking. They said that lady officer said not to trust any of these people. They had lied that they were FBI. And that everybody has to stay out of it. And with people telling on them, like Ed at the Oakland apartment, the guy at the Hunger Task Force, like the people at Bubba's Restaurant for the shower scene, and at KFC, and the Burlington Coat Factory, and the Department of Disability for the drugs and told to say stuff. They already know all their tapes before altered it, and they're looking for who's doing it to me. Okay? Well, the next day after I call Will, I call my daughter-in-law Dixie, and somebody, while we're talking, breaks in, and I hurry up and get off the phone because they left because they heard us crying about the threats of my life. Well, I called my sister. Dave already knows. The churches know. There's no staying quiet, and Will knew that. That's how dirty he is. My sister's like, you need Pam, and she's like, you need to call the FBI on those churches. I said, Pam, they're crazy. One's told on me. They have a copy of my phone. They're mocking me. And I'd have to get a prepaid phone and call you at work. It's this crazy. She's like, what? I said, never mind. I'm a big girl. I can handle this. Stay out of it. Okay. Well, last year of 21, June of 21, I went down to stay with her. And I sent my sister Lori clips of those people threatening my life. And she's like, Karen, Lori called me up and asked me what's all this shit with these people threatening your life. And I'm like, well, I did call the FBI on Dave and those churches. Well, when did you do that? I said 18. She never realized it. They try to use that as an excuse instead of Will's corruption that he already knew, and he knew that it was Dave's girlfriend's family doing it and the weird people from the store of Ravenna and the recall. I'm tired of the pathetic excuses, and that Maslin officer saying anything demeaning to a victim, driving by and showing his 3rd grade education. Police and agency can only be in a home under a threat of life. They have to speak to everyone before they initiate, or it's abuse and misconduct. And failure to protect is abuse and misconduct, and it goes into the right of privacy, illegal search and seizure. It's a 4th Amendment. You also have the 5th, not to incriminate yourself. You also have the 6th, to an attorney. 7th, to a fair court trial, bail, and bond. And 8th, not to be mistreated. And somebody talking about Will. I wonder if Will isn't a cop up there, where they kicked in my door because they were so excited Dave wanted that fat, ugly girl. and where they were date rape drugging me, because they even said, Chris, no man talked to her. No, we used True Serum on her instead. True Serum's been out since 17, and you actually lie under it. It's folklore stuff, spy flick movie stuff. That's lethal. They use the anthrax for it, and the side effects actually lie. It's actually attempted murder, stalking, and a lot of other charges. And if there needs to be police abuse attorneys, because the Portage County Sheriff said what these people are saying to you is illegal. Nor did any of our officers be in your home before a protective life case. I said, with the statements recorded, yes. I said, you couldn't look or listen, yes. So where there's things that you can't look or listen, they're not admissible. Why would you even bring it up for asshole behavior of drugging me and photoshopping a shower scene? By a retired sick judge and his pathetic friends in an occult, thinking they're funny. It's not. But I will report this to the chief of police in Massillon. He needs to scold that African-American officer sitting on 21 today, because you don't say something to a victim driving by, because most Massillon officers, they'll come up and say something nice to me. They'll tell me if I need to know something, like tell Bruce I'll take care of Karen while she's in town. That was March 19. He was over the drug and gang unit. Okay? And like the November 24, 21 Massillon officer in uniform, I'm here to watch her. There's a Steve and Eric stalking her, and we don't know who they are yet. And it's finally got funny after everything they did. Nothing's admissible. No, it's not. It's not connected to a state protected life case with a recording of both statements. Those cops have to go to jail. And I'll tell you what, I walked in Dollar General on the way to my second client's house today. And I'll tell you what, girls are like, the police actually need to do something about this. Two retired sheriffs said, I know there's a judge's family involved, but people need to do their damn jobs. They do. And the police in this area have been the nation's disgrace, the ones sitting on their asses and not doing anything about this. They already know I'm innocent. I was found innocent through that state case. That agent to cover his ass put me in police protective custody. Had Dave spoke to September 27th, 18. Karen around the house state case, or they call it Karen's Well. Massillon works at Stark County Sheriff's. Minerva undercover police, Canal police when I was there. Hartville police said something. It's a state investigation for protected custody. I was found innocent of everything. So I really don't appreciate people acting like they don't have more than a third grade education in front of you.